Constitutional amendment. Quick revision. What is a constitutional amendment? Constitutional amendment is addition, variation, or repealing of any provision of the Constitution of India, except the basic structure of the Constitution. Where is constitutional amendment mentioned? In the Constitution of India. It is mentioned in Part 20, Article 368 of the Constitution of India. Why is constitutional amendment needed? It is needed in order to adjust the Constitution of India to the changing conditions and needs of the nation. What is the procedure for amending the Constitution of India? First, an amendment bill is introduced in either house of the Parliament, that is, lower house or upper house by a minister or a private member, without the prior consent of the President of India. Then, the bill must be passed separately in both the houses of the Parliament. After separately passed by both the houses, the bill is presented before the President of India for her assent. President of India is bound to give her assent. She can neither withhold nor return the bill for reconsideration after President's assent. The Constitutional Amendment Bill becomes Constitutional Amendment Act. Constitutional amendments can be broadly categorized into three categories on the basis of majority. Number 1, constitutional amendment by simple majority. Number 2, constitutional amendment by special majority. Number 3, constitutional amendment by special majority with state ratification. Constitutional amendment by simple majority. What is simple majority? Simple majority refers to more than 50% or 2/3 of the total members present in both the houses plus voting. Which provisions of the Constitution of India can be amended by simple majority? Non-federal provisions, which are not under the purview of Article 368, can be amended by simple majority. These provisions are Article 3, admission or creation of new states, alteration of areas, borders, boundaries, or names of existing states. Article 11, acquisition and termination of citizenship, abolition or creation of state legislative councils, delimitation of constituencies, union territories, parliament rules, salaries, allowances, use of official language, 5th and 6th schedule, etc. Constitutional amendment by special majority. What is special majority? Special majority refers to more than 50% of the total members of each house present plus voting supported by over 50% of the total strength of the house. Which provisions of the Constitution of India can be amended by special majority? Non-federal provisions under the purview of Article 368 can be amended by special majority. These provisions are fundamental rights, directive principles of state policy. Article 61, President's impeachment. Article 312, creation of all India services, removal of judges, chief election commissioner, controller, and auditor general, etc. All other provisions, which are not covered in first and third category. Constitutional amendment by special majority plus state ratification. What is special majority plus state ratification? Special majority plus state ratification refers to more than 50% of the total members of each house present plus voting supported by over 50% of the total strength of the house plus ratification or consent of half of the state legislatures by simple majority. Which provisions of the Constitution of India can be amended by special majority plus state ratification? Federal provisions under the purview of Article 368 can be amended by special majority plus state ratification. These provisions are Article 54, Presidential Election. Article 55, Manner of Presidential Election. Article 162, Extent of Executive Power of State. Article 241, High Courts for Union Territories. Article 279A, GST Council, Part 5, Chapter 4, Union Judiciary, Part 6, Chapter 5, High Courts in States, Part 11, Chapter 1, Legislative Relations, any list in the 7th Schedule. Representation of States in Parliament, Article 368 itself. Why is state ratification needed? State ratification is needed because the provisions mentioned in third category affect the interests of both center and states. Therefore, any amendment which affects the federal character of the Constitution requires the consent or ratification of the state legislatures. Validity of a constitutional amendment. Can the validity of any constitutional amendment be challenged? Yes. The validity of any constitutional amendment can be challenged in Supreme Court as well as High Court by the power of judicial review. If such amendment by any chance violates the basic structure of the Constitution or the fundamental rights, can be declared unconstitutional and invalid.